Everyone, it's Road to Retire, and today's video, this is going to be a little fun video for me to do. So the 11 side hustles that I've taken pretty seriously over the past 4 years, I would say. How do I rank them? So on these rankings here, I have awesome, great, meh, used to be good, and not worth it. So let's dive right into it. Let's not waste any time. So the first one I have on here is Coin Hunt World. So a lot of you probably never heard of this one, but Coin Hunt World is a free-to-play app. I think right now it's only on Google, Android phones, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's like a version of Pokemon Go where you would go around and collect these keys, and you would answer trivia questions for vaults all across wherever you are across the world, and you would earn a little bit of cryptocurrency, whether it be Bitcoin or Ethereum. And I earned around $500 just from this free-to-play app, never putting a dime into it, just walking around my local park. But it has gone completely nerfed, meaning like it is very difficult to earn a penny from this without putting in a crap ton of work. That just makes it not worth it. So we went from something where I was earning like maybe like $10 an hour just walking in my spare time, that kind of rate, to now it's like you're lucky to get 50 cents an hour. So I'm not even going to put used to be good because $10 an hour is pretty so we're just going to put Coin Hunt World and not worth it. The next one, it's hard to see here, is dataannotation.tech. I just did a video of this one yesterday. One of the most underrated side hustles out there. If you are able to get into the site and get qualified for work, that's a big if. A lot of people don't have any luck signing up. So if you are able to get the qualifications, if you're a fluent English speaker, and let me be clear right now, if you're watching this internationally from like India, Pakistan, or Singapore, whatever, I get a lot of comments saying, outside the US, these don't work. This is not the video for you, because I don't even know why any of those people watch my videos, because they know these sites suck. Anyway, dataannotation.tech, consistently, in my experience, when you get projects, pays $20 to $25 an hour, and it is a legit $20 to $25 an hour. Never had payment problems with them. Admins are very good to respond. It is a very clean version of remote tasks, which we'll get into later. So for dataannotation.tech, I give it a great tier. eBay flipping. Now, the downside to this one is that you need to find items to flip, because selling your own items in your own house really isn't flipping, because you had to spend money to acquire those items for your own possessions, and then 95% of the time they're going to sell for less than what you paid for, so it's not really flipping. I hate people that say like selling stuff around your house is a side hustle. It's not a side hustle. You're just getting rid of shit. So in terms of going out and getting items to sell on eBay, it takes some work, and also for convenience sakes, you do need a little bit of capital for this one to be better. A label printer, get your own labels so you don't have to rely on the post office and waste time there. You need a good internet connection. You need a decent computer for this. So I think eBay is great. I've made over $6,000 flipping items on eBay. It has drastically slowed down this year. I have done maybe $300 worth of eBay sales, just because it's becoming a saturated market, at least in the niche that I'm in, which is selling video games from around here. And also, eBay fees are very high. Video games alone are north of 13% take of the total sale, and they include things like taxes and shipping. So it's like if you sell an item for 10 and shipping and taxes ends up being like 5 or 6, you're paying the 13% fee on $16. So I'm putting this in great. It's a scalable business. That's why it gets into great. It's not awesome just because of the fees alone. There's better ways you could get around that, I would say. This next one is Amazon KDP, which is ebook sales. Now, this one is going to be person dependent. So for me, I did a horse racing book, how to handicap horse races, in my old job about like 7 years ago when I was bored in my cubicle, and it's maybe 25 pages long. It's very short, and I've made like $100 from it. I've sold multiple copies of it, and it goes for like $1.50 to $2, so it's not like it's expensive or anything. But a lot of people, when they're talking about Amazon KDP, they go to these low content books, which is like you create like coloring books for kids, or like very simple stories, or you create like notebooks that you can just write on or print out easily. stuff that takes almost no work. That's why it's called low content or no content, because the inside of it is basically blank or very simple lines or shapes or whatever. So I've seen a lot of people make good money from that. However, I've looked into it, and for me personally, when I was looking to get into it, it's a hugely oversaturated market, but you can make money from this. For me personally, I'm going to put it in the meh category. Could be better. It's scalable, so that's what gets it out of the not worth it for me. You really have to find your niche and, consistently make royalties to make KDP work. This next one is Amazon Mechanical Turk. So I've made over $8,000 on Amazon Mechanical Turk. So obviously, it can't be crap for me. It can't be not worth it. But however, this is the definition of a used to be good. So Amazon Mechanical Turk, if I was putting any kind of effort into it, I could easily make $200 to $300 a month. Now it's like, even if I were to take full effort, I'd be lucky to make like $20 a day. And this is from someone who submitted over 85,000 hits. So a ton of experience, a ton of close qualifications. It's just not as good as it used to be. So Amazon Mechanical Turk is a used to be good. I still use it to get the occasional $1 to $5 just to complete my earn 10, save 10, walk 10 challenge that I do every single day on this channel. Which, if you're new to this channel, hey, it's road to retire. I try to retire early. The earn 10, save 10, walk 10 is just every single day. I try to at least earn $10. I try to at least put $10 into a high yield savings account, and I try to walk 10,000 steps every single day. It's a fun challenge, and it's a great way to get towards early retirement. So Amazon Mechanical Turk, it used to be good. I still use it just for the occasional $1 or $2. Because it is pretty easy to get $1 or $2 a day. It's just you're not going to get that much. It's not scalable at all. Prolific. So this is a survey site. I've done reviews on this one as well. I've made over $1,000 in just under 4 months on this one, not putting much effort at all into it. That being said, there is a long wait list to get in. If you sign up nowadays, you're probably talking 6 months to over a year just to get onto the site. And if you're not in their demographics that you want, which, for me, I'm a straight white 32-year-old male. I'm probably the most boring demographic they could ever ask for. They don't want people like me. So just keep in mind that it's very hard to get out of their wait list. It could be a very long time. Once you do get on it, though, high paying opportunities for surveys, probably in terms of just pure survey sites, maybe the best out there. And I wish I was still on it. I've said this multiple times. It's been a weird thing where they just kicked me off for no reason. I have no idea what happened. I don't use a VPN. I don't, what's the other one that's usually a common complaint? I didn't get any rejections on any of my work, so the quality's there. I matched every answer I gave to the demographic profile, so it's not like I was saying like in my profile I'm like 55 years old, and yet on these surveys I'm filling out that I'm 30 or like all of a sudden a female or something like that. So no idea what went wrong. I've contacted them dozens of times and they give you the same answer. We cannot disclose why you're off the site. So very frustrating. So Prolific for me is a meh, because it can be extremely good and at the same time it can be really bad. So keep that in mind. Referrals. So for this one, for me, I'm talking like referrals I got for the M1 Finance program, remote task referrals, and Robinhood. So I probably in referrals alone have made mostly on M1 Finance was the huge chunk of it back in like 2018 when I first promoted that site and it was very new as an app. Maybe around $700 I made in referrals. Remote Task probably made about $100, and then Robinhood, the stock values were probably around $100. So referrals I would give a meh, because it is scalable, but you do need a pretty decent sized following. And how much are you willing to really build up an audience to get there? You can still do it for friends and family and whatnot. And if you're just converting friends and family, there's no startup cost. You just have to have an account for whatever you're referring them to. So it can be a good little side money, side hustle money, beer money. I wouldn't rely on it at all. But, if I'm putting referrals at here, I'll probably put, no, I'm putting it at now. I'm keeping it at now. I'm staying true with these. All right, let's talk about remote task. I've done so many freaking videos on remote task, and I agree with one of the recent comments that came on my channel that a couple years ago, Remote Task might have been one of the best sites out there for side hustles in terms of like just doing straight up work for hourly pay. But it's just oversaturated, and it's oversaturated. Not that like there isn't a lack of work, but the admins are just overrun, and the projects, like the instructions just get more and more complex. Nobody understands them. The review process is terrible. It's people reviewing other people, and you're trying to incentivize reviewers for changing it when there's nothing that needs to be changed. The admins don't know how to control everyone because like half the people that are doing these tasks are pissed off and don't know what's going on. Then you have the people who are using VPNs and from outside countries who don't speak fluent English yet somehow get onto these projects. They just bypass the curriculum courses. So Remote Task was a used to be good. Look, I've earned over $2,000 on Remote Task in just around 2 months time. So to say that there was no money involved or, no possibilities of earnings, that's just not true at all. But it's definitely in the used to be good category. Honestly, nowadays, I prefer Mechanical Turk over Remote Task. I am able to do some work on Remote Task. I'm on the Alpaca project, but man, it is mind-numbing work. I hate it, and the payment is not that great. When I was on Nightingale and Flamingo, I was earning anywhere from $25 to $30 an hour. Now on this one, when I've done a couple tasks on Alpaca, maybe 12 to 15 an hour. It's just not working, and the work just sucks. Spotify podcast. So I had a podcast on Anchor, and I really, really liked Anchor. And then Spotify bought it out, and now the advertisements just suck. It's really hard to get money unless you have a huge audience. You're better off if you're going on Spotify podcast. You're hoping that you can kind of branch out to other avenues like YouTube or whatever. So Spotify podcasts, I would say, used to be good. Unless you have a really large audience, you're not going to make that much money. When I was on Anchor, I made about $300, and I had a really small audience, so it used to be good. Now it's like, I would say like not worth it, but it did used to have some merit to it. YouTube, this one's awesome, completely scalable. Now, keep in mind, you do have to really put a lot of effort into it if you want it to grow. So many people, especially on YouTube, who are like pushing ChatGPT and AI and all this stuff, like to say like, oh, you can make a nameless, faceless, YouTube channel where it's all automated. They're doing the text to speech. They're doing all the work for you. You're not doing that much. Look, that market is going to become, and it already is becoming, completely oversaturated. And what you're going to find is that people are looking for true content creators, giving their true opinions, like what I'm giving you now. Because, if you typed in, how is flipping on eBay on ChatGPT, you're going to get the most cookie cutter answer ever. Not the truth. So YouTube, I've seen it personally. I did it back in 2018 and 19 during that monetization period, and now in 2023, the money is there. It's a very scalable business. I went already in late April, early May, earning around $1 a day to right now I'm averaging in the month of June around $8 a day. So it's scaling up. It's a very scalable business. You can make a lot of money. Do not be fooled. There are a good chunk of people in America that are full-time YouTubers making full-time incomes a lot better than people's day jobs. So an awesome side hustle if you have the courage to make really good content, put your face out there, put your image out there, put your own brand out there, put your own spin on things. Don't be a cookie cutter channel. People will recognize you for your authenticity, and you can make a good chunk of money if you're willing to do it. And then finally, the Amazon Influencer Program, one that I've only been doing for just a hair over a month now, and I can already say this is awesome because I feel like the amount of work that is needed to go into the Amazon Influencer Program, the risk-reward ratio is so high. So just as perspective today, one of the items that I have on there, I've done a review on, is the computer desks that my wife has downstairs for her stay-at-home job. And someone clicked on that review, watched my whole video, and then they end up buying a really expensive version of it. So the one that my wife has and the one that I advertised is $600. Someone yesterday bought a $1,300 version of that desk. So obviously there's more bells and whistles and whatnot, but I made commission on that. That whole video, me editing and recording it and doing a voiceover, took legitimately 15 minutes. And I've sold 3 desks And yesterday, since it was so expensive, got me a $50 commission by itself. So the other ones got me $25 commission. So I made $100 commission from $20 or 20 minutes of work. You can't beat that rate of return. And the glorious thing about Amazon influencers is that you can post reviews on just about anything under the sun. Amazon sells everything: water bottles, microphones, video games, anything, you know it. Anything that you can buy on Amazon, you can do an influencer review of. So extremely scalable. Now, are they going to cut back? Are they going to change how the influencer program works? They could obviously do that. They could obviously say, hey, we're cutting that, we're stopping the influencer program altogether. So who knows? Maybe this will one day go from an awesome to a used to be good. But for right now, I don't see it as too oversaturated. I know a lot of people think it's getting too oversaturated, but I firmly do not believe that's the case yet. So if you have any following on any social media, I believe the Amazon Influencer Program is amazing. So YouTube and Amazon Influencer Programs are amazing. Dataannotation.tech and eBay flipping is great. Our ebooks on Amazon, the referrals and prolific. Used to be good. Amazon Mechanical Turk, Remote Task, and Spotify podcasting. And then not worth it is Coin Hunt World. So those are the, 11? These are the 11 side hustles that I've done pretty consistently. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down below if you've done any other side hustles, or if you've done any of these side hustles and agree with or disagree with my tier ranking. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more on my side hustle and early retirement progress, and I'll see everyone in the next one.